Some things in Japan are so clever that the moment you encounter them, you immediately wonder why the rest of the world hasn't done the same. Overnight buses where every passenger gets a fully enclosed private pod instead of a seat. Vending machines dispensing piping hot canned corn soup on street corners in the middle of winter. And beef bowl chains where you order and pay from a machine before you even reach your seat. Japan doesn't just fix problems, it eliminates them so completely that you only realize they existed the moment you leave and have to go back to doing things the hard way. Today, we're counting down 15 things in Japan that instantly fix everyday problems. Watch until the end because number 15, insulated bento boxes with separate hot and cold compartments, shows how Japan took something as ordinary as a packed lunch and engineered it into something the rest of the world has been getting wrong every single day. Number 1. Overnight capsule buses with private pods. Overnight bus travel is one of those experiences most people endure rather than enjoy. Japan rebuilt it entirely. Japan's overnight capsule buses replace individual seats with fully enclosed private pods stacked in rows along the interior of the coach. Each pod has a sliding privacy curtain that seals completely, a flat sleeping surface, personal lighting, power outlets, and enough space to stretch out properly. You board, close your curtain, and the outside world disappears for the entire journey. No shared armrests, no reclined seat from the person in front pressing into your knees, no fluorescent aisle light disturbing you every time someone walks to the bathroom. You board in one city, close your curtain, sleep, and wake up somewhere else entirely. Japan turned one of the most uncomfortable travel experiences in existence into something you might actually look forward to. Number 2. Hot canned corn soup in vending machines. Most vending machines offer cold drinks and maybe a chocolate bar. Japan asked what people actually want on a cold morning and put the answer in the machine. Heated canned corn soup has been a staple of Japanese vending machines for decades, stocked alongside hot coffee and tea as a completely standard option during the colder months. You press the button, the can drops warm into your hand, and within 30 seconds you are holding something that tastes like it came from a kitchen rather than a machine bolted to a wall. When it is 5 degrees outside, you have 15 minutes until your train arrives and no cafe nearby. The difference between another coffee and something warm and savory is more significant than it sounds. Japan simply recognized that not everyone wants caffeine on a cold commute and built the option into the machine. The answer was soup. Number 3. Gyuden chains with fully automated ordering. Fast food is supposed to be fast. Japan's Gyuden chains took that idea seriously and removed every unnecessary step from the process. Restaurants like Yoshinoya and Sukiya operate ticket vending machines at the entrance, where customers select their meal, choose any extras, and pay before they have found a seat. The ticket goes straight to the kitchen, and by the time you sit down, your bowl is already being prepared with your order confirmed and paid for. No queue at the counter, no waiting for a server, no fumbling for payment at the end when you are already full and just want to leave. The entire interaction from entering to eating takes a fraction of the time it would anywhere else. Japan's beef bowl chains aren't just fast food. They're a genuinely faster version of a process the rest of the world never thought to streamline. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 4. Shinkansen tray tables built for laptops. Train tray tables were designed for a drink and a paperback. Japan designed them for how people actually use trains. Shinkansen tray tables are sized and reinforced to hold a full-size laptop open and flat, with room alongside it for a drink, a meal, and anything else a working passenger might reasonably need for a 2-hour journey. The difference sounds trivial until you actually sit down with a laptop on a Shinkansen and realize that nothing is balancing, nothing is at risk, and you can work properly for the entire journey without adjusting anything. No laptop perched at an angle, no coffee balanced somewhere precarious, no documents with nowhere to go. Japan built a train table that works for how people actually travel today. Everywhere else is still building them for a format that stopped being the norm decades ago. Number 5. Fresh ground coffee from vending machines. Vending machine coffee has a reputation for being watery and flavorless. Japan decided that was a design problem and fixed it. Certain Japanese vending machines and konbini coffee stations grind whole beans at the point of each order, brew the cup immediately, dispense it within about 45 seconds. The result tastes like coffee from a cafe rather than something that has been sitting in a heated tank since the previous shift. For commuters who need a coffee on the way to work without standing in a cafe queue, it completely removes the compromise between speed and quality. Japan took the one thing people accepted as an unavoidable downgrade of the vending machine format and simply refused to accept it. The coffee is fresh because the beans are ground the moment you pay. It costs less than a cafe, takes less than a minute, and tastes like neither of those things should be true. Number 6. Luggage lockers inside convenience stores. Coin lockers in train stations are practical, but train stations are not always where you need them. Japan extended the solution into convenience stores. Luggage storage networks have expanded into conveni locations across Japan, meaning travelers can drop bags at a nearby convenience store in areas far from a major station, store them securely, and collect them at any hour. Locations are trackable through standard navigation apps and payment runs through the same IC card system used across the transit network. For anyone who has checked out of a hotel at 11 with a flight at 7 in the evening and an afternoon to fill in a neighborhood with no station nearby, this completely removes the problem. You find the nearest konbini, store your luggage, and continue your day as if you were never carrying anything at all. Japan took a solution that already worked and made it available everywhere instead of just where it was convenient to install. Number 7. Highway rest stops with regional food. Most highway rest stops offer the same chain restaurant regardless of where you are in the country. Japan's expressway service areas work on an entirely different principle. Each rest stop serves food specific to the region the highway passes through. Drive through Shizuoka, and the stop sells local wasabi products and green tea. Pass through Hokkaido, and you find fresh dairy and seafood unique to that prefecture. The quality is high enough that certain service areas have become destinations in their own right. Families plan stops around specific rest areas. Food bloggers document them. Tourists time their journeys around which prefecture's specialties they want to try next. The food changes as the geography changes, and pulling over becomes something you want to do rather than something you have to do. Japan turned a motorway rest stop into a reason to get off the highway. Everywhere else just put a burger chain in a car park. Number 8. Shoe cleaning machines at train stations. You leave the house with clean shoes. By the time you finish a commute through rain, crowds, and multiple platform changes, they tell a different story. Japan put the fix directly into the station. Automated shoe cleaning and polishing machines positioned in train station concourses buff and shine both shoes simultaneously while the commuter stands still. The process takes under a minute. You step onto the platform, position your feet, the machine does the work, and you walk into your office looking like you got ready 5 minutes ago. It's the kind of solution that sounds unnecessary until you factor in how much of a first impression comes down to footwear and how little time exists between the end of a commute and the start of a working day. Japan put the solution exactly where the problem occurs. Not in a shopping center, not at the office, at the station where the damage happens. Number 9. Convenience store official document printing. Most government document needs arrive at the worst possible time. Japan solved the timing problem by putting the solution in a building that never closes. Konbini printing stations process official government documents, including residence certificates, tax records, family register extracts, and administrative forms at any hour, using a system connected directly to municipal databases. You authenticate, select the document, pay a small fee, and collect a certified copy from the printer. No appointment, no queue, no taking a half day from work to stand in a municipal office waiting room. The terminal is available 24 hours a day in the same building where you buy your lunch. Japan decided that access to your own official documents shouldn't require a scheduled visit during office hours and built an entire infrastructure around that decision. The result is that a bureaucratic errand becomes something you handle on the way home without thinking twice about it. Number 10. Stovetop fish grills under the burners. Cooking fish at home means dealing with smoke, smell, and a kitchen that reminds you of your decision for the rest of the evening. Japan built the solution directly into the stove. A compact grilling drawer sits in the base of standard Japanese kitchen ranges, directly beneath the burner unit. It operates on its own flame, grills fish from both sides simultaneously, and uses an enclosed chamber that contains the smoke and directs it through ventilation rather than straight into the kitchen. The fish cooks in minutes, the smell stays contained, and the result is properly grilled with no oil required and no oven to preheat. It doesn't take up counter space, it doesn't require a separate appliance. It's built into the cooker as standard because Japan recognized that grilling fish is a daily meal requirement, not an occasional event that justifies a complicated setup. Number 11. Hot spring foot baths inside train stations. Waiting for a train is dead time in most places. In certain parts of Japan, you spend it soaking your feet in a natural hot spring. Ashi-yu foot bath stations are built directly into the waiting areas of train stations in hot spring regions across Japan. Fed by natural geothermal water and available free or for a nominal fee, they sit alongside the platform and are accessible to anyone with a few minutes between connections. You remove your shoes and socks, sit at the edge of the pool, lower your feet into genuinely hot mineral water, and wait for your train in a state of mild relaxation rather than mild boredom. It sounds like a luxury addition to a transit facility. In practice, it is Japan recognizing that a train station sits on top of a natural hot spring and concluding that the obvious thing to do with that was to share it with the people passing through. Number 12. Free gift wrapping at department stores. Buying a gift solves one problem and creates another. Japan removes the second one at the counter. Gift wrapping is provided as a standard complimentary service at Japanese department store counters for any purchased item regardless of price. Staff wrap purchases to a precise professional standard, using coordinated paper, ribbon, and presentation that reflects the quality of what's inside. The wrapping takes about 90 seconds. The result looks like it came from a luxury boutique, regardless of what you bought or what you paid. There is no charge. There is no minimum spend. You buy something, hand it to the counter staff, and leave with something that looks genuinely considered and carefully presented. Japan decided that presentation is part of the purchase and built the service into the transaction as standard. Everywhere else decided the wrapping was the customer's problem and sold them a roll of paper that never cut straight to prove it. Number 13. Supermarket prepared meals restocked every 2 hours. Supermarket prepared food in most places operates on an unspoken agreement that nobody asks too many questions about when it was made. Japan replaced that agreement with a 2-hour rotation. Hot prepared meals in Japanese supermarket deli sections are replaced on a strict cycle throughout the entire trading day. Items that haven't sold within the window are progressively discounted and cleared before the next batch arrives fresh from the kitchen. The result is that whenever you reach for a prepared meal in a Japanese supermarket, you are picking up something made within the last 2 hours at most. The food tastes like it was prepared recently because it was. It requires more kitchen staff and more preparation than the alternative. Japan decided that was simply the standard required and built the entire operation around maintaining it. The rest of the world built the operation around avoiding it. Number 14. Convenience store bill payment terminals. Bills arrive on their own schedule with no regard for yours. Japan made sure payment is always available on yours. Konbini payment terminals process utility bills, tax payments, insurance premiums, and government fees around the clock every day of the year. You walk in with the bill, scan the barcode, pay in cash or by card, and receive a stamped receipt confirming payment on the spot. No late fees from missing a banking window, no online account required, no waiting on hold with a billing department that closes at 5. The terminal is in the same building where you buy your coffee, open at 3 in the morning if that is when you remember. Japan recognized that the timing of financial obligations and the availability of payment infrastructure rarely align and built a solution that removes the gap entirely. Paying a bill becomes something you handle on the way home without planning around it. Number 15. Insulated bento boxes with hot and cold compartments. A packed lunch is a compromise almost everywhere. By the time you eat it, hot things are lukewarm and cold things are no longer cold. Japan engineered a box that refuses to accept that. Japanese insulated bento boxes use vacuum-sealed compartment technology to maintain hot and cold sections simultaneously within the same unit. The rice and main dish stay genuinely hot for several hours. The salad and fruit in the adjacent compartment stay cold. The two sections do not affect each other's temperature regardless of how long the box sits in a bag. The result is a packed lunch that arrives at lunchtime tasting like it was just prepared, because thermally speaking, it effectively was. They are sold at every price point and carried by school children, office workers, and construction crews alike. Japan decided a packed lunch should taste like a proper meal, then built the box that makes that possible every single day. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen, it's packed with even more crazy things.